Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2024 as we get into what could be the final episode of the season if things don't go well. We'll wait and see. It could be the final episode of the season even if things do go well, because today we have the Champions League semi-final second leg against Barcelona. We beat them 4-1 at home and now we should be able to get through to the final so long as we don't completely implode at the Nou Camp. We then have to take on Bournemouth and Manchester United in the league before taking on Liverpool in the FA Cup final, Nottingham Forest in the league. And then if we have a look at the league table, you will see that in the league we are now in 5th place, 1 point clear of Manchester United, so that could be a big game. 10 points off Champions League places, but 5th will be a Champions League spot as well. So we just need to finish in 5th with those 3 league games remaining. So it is pretty tough at the moment. But what we'll do today is have a look at this Barcelona game, skip the Bournemouth game, maybe watch the United game, and then we'll see about Liverpool and Forest at the end of the season. But let's have a look now at the way we're going to line up against Barcelona. We put a strong team out in the game at the end of last episode, or between the last episode and now, where Doyle and Oyarzabal beat Southampton. We were able to rotate a little bit using the substitutions as well. So the team's pretty fit and healthy today. We've got Isak, Oyarzabal and Savio up top, then Joelinton, Tonali and Bruno in the centre. Hernandez, Doyle, Silva and Frimpong are in the defence with Trubin in goal. We have beaten Barcelona at home and away already this season, and by quite a margin, 7-1 on aggregate. So hopefully we can see this game through as well and get the result that we need to make it to the Champions League final, where we will be playing Paris Saint-Germain. You can see nearly 100,000 fans coming out for Barcelona as they hope for an absolutely world-beating comeback against us. But at the moment, it's a fairly slow start to the game. I'm actually going to switch to a more cautious mentality as well. 20 minutes killed already with nothing happening in the match whatsoever is a fairly good sign as far as we're concerned. 30 minutes in, still 0.04 XG. We haven't had a shot yet. Probably not the game that their fans are expecting, but here we are with Theo Hernandez to Joelinton. Back to Doyle. Theo plays it over to Antonio. He sends it back to Turbin. Probably been a lot of this going on in this game, but here's Frimpong. He's giving it away to Ferran Torres out of absolutely nothing. Slow game, leads to mistakes, but that is blasted high and wide. Very little XG on that effort, and it all came from a mistake. We're clearly in control of this game. We just need to keep it that way going into the second half. But I'm very happy with how this is going so far. They need to score 3 goals in this second half, and they haven't looked like doing much to that level up to now. We're keeping this game very, very quiet. You can see we're starting to get a few efforts appear across the board, but otherwise still fairly steady. Half an hour to go. Trubin finds Antonio, now Tonali. Back to Trubin. Here's Doyle. Forward to Joelinton. Oh, he's tried to roll Frankie de Jong and it hasn't worked out. Now Koundé to Araujo. De Jong tries to play it through, but we've intercepted, and now Savio has it, attacking down the right flank, finds Frimpong, players in the middle for him. Frimpong still going, goes to the byline, puts it in, ter Stegen punches, Bruno cleans up. We're still going at them here with Bruno, goes around the outside, pulls it back to Savio, and he finds the bottom corner as we go 5-1 up against Barcelona on aggregate. We lead at the Nou Camp. Could we be about to beat Barcelona 3 times in one season? It certainly looks like that. Bruno there managed to pull it back. Savio, oh, that is a thing of beauty. He's just whipped that quite centrally, but through the legs of the defender, past ter Stegen and into the back of the net. And that should be our Champions League final now, all secured. Here's Antonio playing it out, but he's giving it away to Fati, who cuts inside, and Trubin there with a good stop. The first time they've really threatened our goal. Savio now with a free kick finds Bruno, but it's cleared away, and Lewandowski will try to bring it forward. Now Ansu Fati have come awake since conceding, but here's Frimpong. He's got the ball, and he is doubled up on by Tomiyasu and Fati, 2 former Premier League players. Bruno then looks for Savio, but again it's back with Fati. He's attracting the ball like a magnet, and he gets into the box, but Trubin makes the save once more. Oyarzabal just struggling a little bit. I'm going to bring Echeverri on for his first appearance this season. I'm also going to bring on João Neves in central midfield to help see this game out. Still, this highlight continues, which is worrying. Ball goes out wide. Teo Hernandez does eventually pick up the ball, and the highlight does end. 20 minutes to go. We still got the lead here. Frankie de Jong free kick towards Lewandowski. Easy for Trubin. Teo's free down the left, but he's taking his time with it. Rightly so, Trubin. No need to rush. And then he launches it forward. Comes down to Rodriguez. Echeverri nearly getting in there. Echeverri's been very good for our under-21s this season, which is why he's been called up now. Here's Rodriguez out to Araujo. Back to Koundé. Ball out wide to Ferran Torres. Being patient, Barcelona, when they maybe don't have the time to be that patient. Here's Pedri out wide to Fati. Players in the middle. He's looking for Lewandowski and he let it run to Frankie de Jong, who sticks the ball in the back of the net, and they have 20 minutes to score 3 goals. This would be up there with the time PSG humbled Barcelona in the last minutes of that Champions League knockout game. And de Jong there, we see that goal a lot where the striker fakes it or misses it and the midfielder is running onto it to plant the ball in the back of the net. It's a favourite animation of this match engine. 15 minutes to go, Barcelona, you can see their momentum ramping up. But we've got the free kick, 10 minutes left to go. Tonali, he's given the ball away. Tomiyasu did well to intercept. Now Christensen over to Koundé. Now Rodriguez spins the 2 midfielders. Araujo over the top. Ferran Torres with a lot of room pulls it back, and Frankie de Jong has missed the target. As we are in the last 10 minutes, might be time to make a couple more changes here. Zaire Emery can come on. Antonio tries to clear that one. Gertrudia can come on, and then at left back, do we have anybody? Sven Botman. That'll be all of our substitutions made. Here's Araujo attacking down the right. If they score now, it's going to be a tasty last 10 minutes. Doyle cleans up and then gets rid of it, looking for Isak. Ball comes down to Echeverri, trying to find Savio, but it doesn't work, and Fati's header straight at Trubin there, who's happy to grab the ball. He plays it out to Doyle. João Neves to Teo, nice little pass. Charges forward, he's looking for Isak, but Koundé does well, and now we've got a gap on the left side, and de Jong finds Lewandowski, and the flag is up. That looked like a goal to me. Let's see what the VAR officials have to say about the matter. And it is disallowed. It remains 1-1 here for us against Barcelona, so they still need 3 goals, but they are definitely throwing the kitchen sink at us now. Doyle to Echeverri, comes to Botman. Gertrudia out to Echeverri once more. Great first game of the season of this, isn't it? Being brought on away from home against Barcelona as Isak goes for it, and ter Stegen was nearly caught out there and was just forced to flap it behind as we get a corner late on. João Neves to take. Lots of players in the box. It goes in towards Botman, but ter Stegen comes to claim that one. 5 minutes to go for Barcelona as they continue to try and push. I mean, failing to win this game is pretty poor from them, but there it is. We're in the Champions League final. An incredible performance by their team gets us over the line. Liverpool losing as well, so we're 10 points behind them with a game in hand. Not that matters too much. We get 10 million for playing in the semi-finals, and now we will go to our first ever Champions League final. Now I think I'll probably just sack off the rest of the Premier League games, and this episode we'll finish with the FA Cup final and the Champions League final as well to end this season. So let's get through these Bournemouth and Man United games, and I'll see you at Wembley. Well, after that successful progression into the Champions League final, we then played Bournemouth. 3-1 victory for us there. João Neves with 2 goals. Isak got a penalty, as well as we saw Bournemouth off quite comfortably. But then, despite playing a full strength 11 away at Old Trafford, we were humbled by Manchester United, bringing to an end our 8-game unbeaten run. 8-game unbeaten run with 7 wins and a draw, finally brought to an end by Manchester United at the worst time as we're about to play Liverpool in the FA Cup final. It also means in the league we are 2 points behind Manchester United, so the Champions League qualification dream could well be at an end. We have to beat Nottingham Forest and hope that results go away in the United match. Let's see who they're playing in their final game of the season, they have Crystal Palace at home. So it looks like our hope of the Champions League really do rest on us beating PSG in the Champions League final. So that is a big ask. But first we need to take on Liverpool. Players are a bit more tired than I would like because I really went for it in that United game and we were beaten 4-1, which means that Zaire-Emery and João Neves not fully fit. Oyarzabal on the bench, Hernandez on the bench, Tonali on the bench, Frimpong on the bench, Silva on the bench. It's not ideal. But we're going to have Doyle, Botman, Scalvini and Gertrudia in defence. There Emery, Joelinton and Neves in the middle. Yamal, Torres and Isak up top with Trubin in goal. This is a really difficult game. Liverpool have also had a lot of fixtures lately, but they haven't had the Champions League knockouts to deal with. So I don't know how this is going to go. I'm not filled with hope. I think if we can make it to the second half and it's still 0-0, I can bring some of the first team players off the bench and hopefully they can make the difference. But here's Gertrudia down the right. Pulls it back to Yamal, into Isak. Gertrudia across. Torres is there. And it's Kelleher that has saved that. Kelleher in goal could be a big thing for us. I don't know why they're playing Kelleher, but Torres puts it in. Joelinton is there. It's off the post. And somehow we are still not in front. Yamal's not done yet, though, and he wins another corner for us. But we really should have taken the lead by now. João Neves with the corner. Puts it in. It's come down. It's on the line. And it's still not gone in. How has it not gone in? Liverpool surviving by the skin of their teeth. We're on 1.1 XG already. But we should be 1-0 up already. Masraouri's been injured, so McAllister comes on. Here's Szoboszlai. Short to Luis Diaz. Back to Szoboszlai. Not offside. Isak gets it away. Mo Salah to Moretti. Carter Vickers to Gomez, high press on, Endo to McAllister, Luis Diaz finds Darwin Nunez, and it's a good save by Trubin there, a necessary save as he keeps the clean sheet for us. Szoboszlai takes another corner now, goes in towards Darwin, but Doyle heads it out for a throw-in. If we'd conceded then I'd have been livid after all of those chances we had in the first 8 minutes. But we do need to make the most of our chances. Here's Robertson to Moretti. All Liverpool now as Diaz has scored. I don't know what Trubin was doing there. He was trying to save in the top corner when the ball was hit across the bottom of the ground. But we are now a goal down. And it just feels like this is already going to be one of those days. Diaz there. Just cut inside. I don't know what Trubin was doing there. Maybe he couldn't see the ball and just took a guess. But we are now goal down, and McAllister that came on off the bench has got the assist as well, which is annoying. Yamal tackled Gertrudia. Oh, he's got sent off. Well, I feel like that is the final over now. You just knew in those first 8 minutes when we didn't score that this was not going to be our day. There's absolutely no excuse from that from Gertrudia. And in a game we've been utterly dominating with nearly 2 XG, we find ourselves down to 10 men and 1-0 down. And here's McAllister to make it 2-0. And the player pulling all the strings is a man that comes on because they had an injury. This is absolutely the most peak Football Manager thing of all time. So frustrating. Trubin's got to do better at his near post as well. It's really poor. And we are 2-0 down to a team we should be beating at this point. And it's only going to get worse as we head towards the second half. So I don't think it's actually worth bringing any of those other players on at this point, 2-0 down. I think I'd rather strategically rest them for the must-win Premier League game where hopefully we can still qualify for the Champions League and then the Champions League final as well. Doyle here on the ball across to João Neves. This is a real drop in form at the worst possible time. Trubin to Botman. Now Doyle will try and push down the left. Can't get the ball through. He's got to lift that. Carter Vickers to McAllister, and this could be about to get a lot worse. Moretti to Nunez. Charges forward. 5-6 players in the box or around it, and Luis Diaz puts it in. And that is game over for sure. Let's just make the changes we need to make now. Everybody's so tired. Bruno can come on. Isak can come off for Wilson. Minter can come on for Yamal. And let's just leave it at that. And let the rest of this game play itself out. This is a very frustrating end to what's been an excellent FA Cup run. We should be winning this game, or should have been winning this game. I don't know what was going through Gertrudia's mind. We were 1-0 down. Why would you do a two-footed tackle on the offensive side of the pitch when you're the right back? We need to go defensive as well, because otherwise it's going to end up being 5 or 6-0. I feel bad for the Newcastle fans that made their way down today. They're going to see an absolute mauling now. Diaz is in. Diaz has scored. Could be offside, that one. We've got 40 minutes left of this as it stands. And that one is disallowed, so it stays at 3-0 for now as we go to a more defensive formation. But this does not bode well for us. I mean, technically we should have scored more goals than Liverpool, but we're 3-0 down. Gertrudia getting sent off. Us not scoring in that first 10 minutes. Really annoying. I'd really like to win the FA Cup with this Newcastle team, but it just doesn't seem to be happening. I don't know why the team feels weak when we come up against these big clubs. Every time this season, when it's been in the league, domestically we just cannot beat the big teams at the top half of the table. I think maybe next season the trick could be not making many transfers as Diaz gets in and scores again. But I think maybe we've been making too many transfers each summer, too many players coming in. We've got a fairly unhappy squad with some players that have been at the club too long. I mean, for example, we've still got Isaac Hayden in the club. And this is just a simple goal. Endo played it in. Diaz with a nice first touch, nice finish, top of the net. 4-0. And an absolute title parade here for Liverpool as they get a Diaz hat-trick. We've got a free kick here from Bruno. Make this last little change, bring Tonelli on. Bruno swings it in. Scalvini's up there, comes down to Minter. He's got players in the middle, finds Botman, and we have got a goal back. Nice for Minter there to get an assist in the FA Cup semi-final. But this is already all over for us. Minter there, doing well with it, keeping it alive. He's not given up yet. Played it in, and Botman with the finish, his third goal of the season past Kelleher. It feels a long time ago that I said Kelleher being in goal could be good for us. But 4-1 now. Liverpool might just get angry from losing the clean sheet. And here's Diaz for Jota. They've even taken Salah off at this point. Curtis Jones back to McAllister. Diaz back to Moretti. Darwin. Oh, they're playing for fun now. This is very frustrating to watch. Jota to Jones. Now McAllister to Moretti. Diaz into Jones. 5-1. Too easy. They're absolutely toying with us back there. And there's not a lot we can do about it. I'm not watching these replays anymore. With 5-1 down in the FA Cup semi-final. And now McAllister with a free kick. Trubin does make the save. I tell you what, I think I'm going to stop watching this final here. We'll come back at the celebrations. We'll watch Liverpool win the trophy, really rub the salt into the wounds. But this is too painful, commentating on a 5-1 defeat in an FA Cup semi-final. Well, there is a full-time whistle. Liverpool did get another one through Curtis Jones. Wilson had a goal out for us as well. But it's Liverpool. They're going to lift the FA Cup here. 6-1. They've beaten us. Not what we needed, but fortunately we do have one more league game before the Champions League final. Otherwise, this would have been one heck of a morale kicker ahead of that Champions League final. But Liverpool do win the FA Cup. Spurs won it the last two times. It goes to Liverpool this time. Man City have won the Premier League as well. So the old dominant teams have come back to dominate the domestic football scene. And we have got a rebuilding job on our hands after that shocking defeat. Even with 10 men, we shouldn't have conceded 5 more goals. Really, really poor. Means we've failed to win a domestic cup by the end of the 25-26 season, like the board wanted. I mean, we've won 2 Premier League titles. I don't think they're going to be too disappointed. But Nottingham Forest away next in the league. I'm not going to watch this game. We'll just go straight to the PSG match, because even if we beat Forest, we need to hope that Palace beat Man United. Otherwise, we won't finish 5th. So let's get ahead to that Champions League final and see how we finish up in the league. Time now for the Champions League final, and as expected in the Premier League, we did run out 4-1 winners, 2 for João Neves, 1 for Zaire-Emery, 1 for Tonali. But in the Premier League final positions, you can see we did finish in 6th place on a very disappointing 66 points. Just shocking that we finished on 66 points, 20 victories but 12 defeats. A long way off the title. Man City nearly finished 30 points above us. They absolutely stormed to the title this time round. And it means it all comes down to this Champions League final. Will we be champions of Europe, or will we be not even in the Champions League next season? It really does come down to this game. Very rarely does a match come down to something like this. But you can see we've got 4 players that need rests going into this game. None of them are going to get one. They're all going to have to play. They can rest after the 90 minutes are up. But we've got Isak, Oyarzabal and Savio as the front 3. Then Joelinton, Neves and Bruno in midfield. Hernandez, Silva, Scalvini, Frimpong in defence. Trubin in goal. And it's basically our full strength 11, but a little bit tired. PSG, Mawani up top, Mbappe, Asensio, Vitinha, Tchouaméni, Ugarte, and then Mendes, Hernandez, Marquinhos, Hakimi, and Donnarumma. The 2 Hernandez brothers facing each other in a Champions League final. Can we get the result we need? PSG on the attack with Vitinha, and Asensio has scored inside 2 minutes, or inside 3 minutes. 2 minutes and 12 seconds on the clock, I think, when that one went in. Mendes with the throw-in, and Asensio shouldn't even be a decent player these days, but Vitinha picked him out nicely, defender lost him, and he was able to volley it past Trubin, and we are a goal down very early in the Champions League final at the Jose... Oh no, that's a referee. I don't know what stadium we're in. But here comes Donnarumma, ball out to Hernandez, now Ugarte, Joelinton with a tackle, Salvio to Isak. Oh, how has he missed the target there, Isak? He's got to score. Mendes with the ball forward. Scalvini does manage to get to it. Now Frimpong to João Neves. Savio's taken too heavy a touch and Mendes takes it off him. Now Hernandez forward to Mbappe. Vitinha into Mbappe. Off the post, but Tchouaméni arrives. And it's 2-0 to PSG. And this... this season has been awful from start to finish, but the fact that they teased us with an FA Cup final with a chance of making the top 5 and Champions League football on the final day, and then they teased us with a Champions League final only to rip it all away right at the end is just brutal scripting in this game. The team's not even showing up at this point. I don't really know what there is left to say. We just need to hope we can get a goal soon and try and pull this one back. Oyarzabal's picked up an injury, so Lamine Yamal is going to come on off the bench. Maybe he can do what McAllister did in the FA Cup final for Liverpool, but it looks unlikely at this point. Frimpong also struggling for fitness. It's been all us apparently, but PSG are the ones going in 2-0 up at half time. We need to come out now in the second half if we're going to have any hope in this game. But at the moment, just doesn't seem to be working. Trying to demand a bit more from the team. Going to have to change the fullbacks. They're both really tired. Who can we bring on? Gertrudia and Botman, I guess. Let's see if that can make a difference. Here's Asensio, back to Ugarte. Bruno wins the tackle. Now João Neves trying to bring it forward, but gets run off the ball. Vitinha to Mbappe, switches it. Well done by Joelinton there. Now Lamine Yamal in for Isak. He's in behind, and he's hit the bar. Isak, you have got to score. That's twice now he has failed to score. Still coming, but nothing coming about it. This is really frustrating that this is how this is going. 2-0 down, 20 minutes left to go. Can we find a goal? Isak's having a shocker, which doesn't help with Wahi injured. Moani back to Marquinhos. Now Mendes, they just look so in control. Hernandez to Mbappe. Ball sent back to Donnarumma. Marquinhos back to Donnarumma again. Just playing it around so slowly. Tiring us out at the end of this game. Now Tchouameni to Vitinha. Mbappe through to Kolo Muani. Goes for the chip, but it has gone over the bar. I think we're going to have to make some changes here. Well, Wahi's back in the team. I didn't even realise he wasn't injured. Torres can come on as well, I guess. See if that makes any difference. Just got to keep encouraging the team at this point and hope that something happens. Throw the kitchen sink at it. We're going very attacking. I don't usually like doing that, but there's no other option. Lamine Yamal nearly getting a header in at that far side. But as it stands, PSG are going to be the champions of Europe. Looks like there's not much left now. Botman has picked up an injury as well, which doesn't help. Colin Doyle can't make any more substitutions, so Gertrudia is going to have to go into a back three. Oh, come on. There we go. We'll have to see if we get pummeled in the last few minutes, but it's too late anyway. We have lost the Champions League final here. Mbappe trying to rub salt in the wounds. It's cleared out. Marquinhos out to Fabian. 15 seconds or so left. Marquinhos to Mendes. Hernandez gives it away. João Neves to Torres. Late consolation goal maybe. Torres takes it to the far side. Puts it in. Wahi's in there. And Eli Wahi scores in the 94th minute. But it is literally too late to do anything about it. Torres there. Did well. Put the ball in. Wahi was there. And he scores a Champions League final goal, which is nice. Would have been nice 10 minutes ago. And it really is just such a painful way to finish the season. There's a full-time whistle. And Paris Saint-Germain are going to lift the Champions League trophy. Our players aren't even on the pitch. I'd make them stand and watch, personally speaking. But here they go. Champions League trophy for PSG. And they get to lift it. And ticker tape comes down. And we are Champions League runners-up. FA Cup runners-up. And we are not in the Champions League next season. Absolutely shocking to not be in the Champions League next season. We're in the Europa League, which is nice. Get a bit of TV money, but the season is over. Budget for next season, 259 million, 4.8 million per week wage budget. Not an awful lot to look at here, to be honest. Savio is a good signing. Frimpong, he's decent. Lamine Yamal, they're happy with. I mean, they're fairly happy with all the signings, to be honest. But this league form was absolutely dire. C- in the Premier League, A in the Champions League, C+ in the FA Cup, C+ in the Carabao Cup, C- in the Community Shield. Sponsorship down, broadcast revenue down, everything else up a little bit. But yeah, just not good enough at all from the team. And that is the end of the season. Questions over what we do next season, because really the thing that we haven't done is maybe the FA Cup and Champions League, but we're not even in the Champions League next season, which does make it questionable as to how far we want to go with the series. Let me know down below if you'd like to see this series continue. At the moment, I'm tempted to go out a bit like Mauricio Pochettino at the height of what I think I can achieve with this club on the basis of this season's performances. But do drop a like down below. If you've enjoyed this series up to now, make sure to subscribe if you're new, and let me know in the comments if you'd like more episodes. But until next time, see ya.